This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Ryan Mee, the CEO of Fulcrum Metals, following the initial results from Phase 1 tailings sampling at the Teck-Hughes, and the headline there, record gold grade 16.9% higher than historically reported. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Ryan, how are you?
Yes, good morning, Mark. I'm very good, and thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to be talking. So, of course, this news is from that sampling program taken from the Tech-Hughes. You did different sites, 6 different sites at the tailings there to get an average weighted result coming in there at 0.717 grams per tonne, which, as you say, is higher than you previously thought. I mean, what's driven this, and what's your reaction to this, first of all? I mean, to get something that's 16% higher than what was documented historically is a pretty big improvement, I would say.
This is a significant improvement, Mark. Let's not forget this is tailings, so it's mine waste. So these are normally grades contained within a certain range. So to go out there and do this resampling, coming out at 16.9% higher, that's representative sampling that we've done. So that could be extrapolated across the whole tailings area, which would increase the gold content. So it's very significant, yeah.
Indeed. I wonder if you can just remind us what tailings are and why this sort of news is good in this environment.
Yeah, so as I just said, the tailings is a byproduct of previous mining, and obviously each mine has a cut-off grade, and all this gets kind of swashed up in this slurry, and the historic grades there were 0.66 grams a tonne. So we went out there and we resampled it with our own protocol with Extrakt, and we've come out with higher grades. So it's a very material event. It's not we're going out rock sampling where you get very highly variable results for each place that you take those samples. So it's a very significant set of results.
Well, that's good to hear that you did that with Extrakt as well, because, of course, that's who you're working closely with on this new technology, which I know we are awaiting some results on, which I'll talk about in a moment. But you did this in conjunction with them, which obviously is a very good thing to be doing, because they can then make sure that it's done in such a way that optimizes what they're looking for as well to give you those results. So this was Phase 1. What was the main objective of Phase 1, and how does this lead into Phase 2?
Yeah, so Phase 1 isn't quite completed just yet.
Okay.
So it's in a couple of stages. So the first one is that we check and verify the grade of gold in the tailings, which is the news today. The second part to that is the leeching of the gold out of the tailings material, which is, as you'll see from the news today, we performed the first batch test run. That's currently at the lab. We expect those results to be back over the course of the next week or so.
Okay.
And we've also got a second leech test batch, which should be going out to the lab very shortly too. So, it's significant progress. The reason why we're doing more than one batch test, and indeed each batch test is more than one sample. So the first batch is 12 samples. And that is because you've got to get the right parameters to really optimize the ability to get this gold out of the tailings. So you're looking at different time lengths for leaching, different slight adjustments to the chemical makeup of how you're testing it. So yeah, very pleased so far.
Okay, now I know we've spoken before and you said there was sort of circa 200,000 ounces of gold here in Teck-Hughes, and of course in silvernite as well in the tailings there. How much do you expect to recover from Extrakt, the technology? I know in theory 70% was recoverable at silvernite, but that wasn't with the Teck, was it? That was through more traditional reprocessing of tailings. So do you have any idea of what you might expect to recover, or is that still to be determined maybe in a week's time when these results come back?
Yeah, so silvernite has had some metallurgical testing. Those results were up to 68, 70% potentially recoverable. But generally speaking, in tailings, you're looking at 35, 36% recovery, which is what you're seeing at, I've mentioned it before, the Windara Gold Tailings project in Western Australia, which was, 36 to 37%. Now, we expect to get some good results with this extract technology. There's some results put out with Silver One just a month or so back, showing the potential to, extract, twice the grade compared to the existing processes there. So, we've got a ballpark figure to be of 35, 40%. I think that we're going to be very happy with the results, and as you say, we'll find out pretty shortly.
You find out pretty shortly. Okay, good. So, I mean, those results, you've got the first lot that's awaited, and then the second batch was sent recently as well from this recent sampling program. So that will be going through the system and taking a few weeks to come back as well, will it?
Yeah, so we've got this on, express delivery and processing. So we're looking at 5 working days turnaround time. So as I say, it should just be around the corner before we start getting those results back in. So
okay,
I think so.
Good. Well, I wonder, I'm just thinking on what I think was mentioned in an RNS before, where we talked about the cost per ounce being $3.30. That's based on the acquisition cost to Fulcrum, not obviously the actual cost of getting it out and processing it. Have you any idea on OPEX, or when would that kind of information come to light, do you think, in subsequent phases?
Yeah, so that will start to come to light in phase 2. All of this data that we're generating is phase 1. Leads directly to phase 2, which is a conceptual study. So that would look at the makeup of the tailings, the gold content, the recovery rates of the gold, the flow sheet process that will be involved with that, and therefore the costs, and that will start to give us the baseline costs. Yeah.
Okay. And when do you want to start phase 2?
Well, as soon as we have these leaching results, because this is going to tell us the optimized solution for how to leach this gold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So you're looking to start that, fairly soon then. That's good. So that's nice to hear.
Yeah. So tailings is a big industry for us. We've obviously got Teck-Hughes. We brought Silvernight in as well. So we need to start, keep this momentum that we're building up. And, we want to build a big business, and you have to take the right steps, but you've got to move, as quickly as you can.
Okay, good. And I mean, how long would phase 2 take, roughly?
Well, this is part of a 4-phase program. Each phase is roughly 2 to 3 months each.
Okay.
So it's, it's fairly quick development. Low cost development. You touched on the cost per ounce there. This is tailings. We don't need to go out there and do a big dollar drill program. We'll probably go out there and do some more auger sampling, but what we'll do that is run that alongside phase 2, so that can then go straight into phase 3, so we can make this as seamless as possible.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to hear things progressing nicely there, Ryan. It sounds like things are going to start ramping up on the tailings front for sure, with some news flow coming to the market. And I do want to pick up on a few questions. We did, I know Charles Archer from Investing Strategy wrote quite a lengthy article on Fulcrum not so long ago. I'd really encourage people to read that. It covers everything in the company, but really goes into detail on the tailings opportunity. And then we follow that up with a podcast that went out last week. And some questions have come off the back of that I'd just like to ask you now. First of all, why would a company like Extrakt license a little old Fulcrum over a major?
Well, firstly, Extrakt wants to get their technology out there. Now, they obviously signed up with Bechtel earlier this year to commercialize globally the technology. So, in Bechtel, a no small company, they turned over $17 billion last year. So they are focusing on the real major companies around the world. So that leaves a very nice, lucrative niche market for us outside of those tier 1 major mining companies. And that's where Fulcrum come in, where we can help them commercialize the IP and in the process build a business. So it works for both.
You've got a good relationship with the guys at Extrakt then, have you?
Yeah, our relationship with Extrakt go back across a number of years. Okay. So we have that buy-in from a personal and a business relationship, and I think that's really essential to any business, regardless of who you're dealing with. and we have that at Fulcrum. So we're very pleased with the relationship we've got there and the opportunity that having these types of relationships at Fulcrum have given us.
Okay, good. Now, maybe a bit of a tough question, might be difficult to answer. But how much cash do you need between now and getting to profitability on the tailings?
Well, that will kind of be, form part of the baseline costing in phase 2. And let's not forget, at which point that becomes a financeable asset in any case. So it actually opens up a great, a number of doors to us, which is why we set out the 4-phase program.
Okay.
So that we have these short-term milestones, which we can start using to the company's benefit.
Okay, good. And another question that came in here, this actually follows on, I think, what you were mentioning about Silver One earlier, demonstrating results there. But the question is, if the tech has been shown to work elsewhere, why is the market not responding already?
In terms of Fulcrum, maybe people are thinking, well, exactly as you said, why did Fulcrum have this opportunity and not understanding that? I think another one might be not understanding the tailings market that we are targeting and how we are targeting, which is of vital importance also. And also, it is a bit of a repositioning of the business. So it obviously, as part of our key messaging to investors and potential investors, there's been a great deal of change over the last few months, and it may have taken a bit of time for people to take that on board.
Okay. Well, hopefully that becomes a bit more clear as you go further down this development route. Just a couple of questions to finish off. I know Charles mentioned this on the podcast as well, that in terms of the technical details, how much more technical details can you share with the market? I think he found enough, but he probably wanted a bit more, and we talked about the sort of NDAs perhaps, or certainly the patents, and maybe the technology is shrouded in a bit of a sort of secrecy because of perhaps its future potential here. Any way that you or Extrakt can communicate a bit more the technical details, do you think?
As you say, NDAs, really govern the sharing of information on this, and that's through heavily guarded IP also. But what we will be able to, as we go through this phase development, is people will be able to see the results. So,
Okay.
I don't know how much technical information investors want, or whether they just want results. That's why we're moving quickly, so we can give the results, so people can actually see, what they say it works, and these are the results. So it has to work. There's a few other things which, there's a few other discussions going on, between ourselves and Extrakt, which means that we can't say too much at the moment. But once they are concluded, we possibly will be able to share a bit more information on the technical nature of this.
Okay, good. And the final question that came in, is Fmet just a tailings business now, really? I mean, we did discuss in the podcast Big Bear and Tully. I know you put an update out last week about that in the statement there. But yeah, is it just a tailings business now, Ryan? How would you respond to that?
What I think that comes down to, the nature of that question comes down to the nature of how Fulcrum have repositioned, actually. Just tailings, I think, really underplays the industry that we're going into here. The tailings industry, it's got $10 billion worth of gold in tailings alone. It's at near surface, it's low cost, it's early cash flow. So if you mean by trying to reduce our costs, increase our chances of bringing profit early to shareholders and reducing dilution, then I guess so, yeah.
Right, okay, good. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing some results and talking again in the next week or so. But for now, thank you very much for your time. Ryan Mee, CEO of Fulcrum Metals.
Thanks for your time, Mark. Pleasure being on.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.